Hello and welcome to the Toolkit for Traders YouTube channel, where we give you the tools for trading success. And we're on to our final Code Your Own EA's MQL4 programming tutorial series. This is the 12th and final episode of this series. Well done for making it this far. So in this episode, we're going to go through the future, because at the end of a course, this is just a basic course. I want to give you some hints and tips about where you can go to next, so that you're not feeling like you don't know what to do with it now. So I will show you what to do. So in today's video, whatever next, what are you going to do now that you can code? Now you can call yourself a coder. You can code in MQL4 programming language, which, as I said at the start of this course, is very, very similar to many other programming languages. So, you can really take that elsewhere. We've got in today's episode how to take your coding further, so what you can do. What's going to follow on from this in the second part of today's video is the MQL4 201 advanced coding course, what to expect in that and how that's going to work out, and the exciting future of T4T content, which will be coming on the YouTube channel. So, quote for this lesson, as we've had with every lesson: roads where we're going, we don't need roads, from Back to the Future, Dr. Emmett Brown. It's a good quote as they blast into the future. This is where you take off really on your expert advisor training. And this is, you don't need roads, you need code. That's what you need. Okay, so what I'm going to give you next is recommended books. If you want to carry on learning MQL4 or programming or trading in general, these are the books that have really helped me become successful in trading, and I want to pass them on to you, so that you've got an opportunity to do some further reading, further learning, so you don't just feel at a dead end at the end of this course. So the first book, I'm going to give 10 books, my top 10. The first book is Expert Advisor Programming for MetaTrader 4. This is the book that this training course is really based on. This is the book that I read, that I learned from, and so all the basics that I learned came from this book. If you do buy this book, you'll see most of the content here you will have seen on the YouTube channel, on this YouTube channel, but it is really the textbook for this course, and it covers all the basics that we've covered here in written down format. And some people find that really useful, to be able to read a book and to see it, but also it covers topics that not on the one-on-one course that I would have really liked to get in, but I just haven't had time in the 12-part series. So it's got ones on libraries and custom indicators, which you can pick up this book and you can start to, it shows you how to implement custom indicators, how to use libraries, and even gives you some free source code that helps you speed up your development process. I highly, highly recommend this book. It is fairly pricey, but it is well worth it as the textbook, as a reference. I keep this book next to me when I'm coding, and I flick through it when I need to check something. He also does a really good job of explaining why we do certain things in coding, and particularly with trading. So highly recommend it as this sort of textbook. If this was a university course, they'd say, what textbook should you read? This would have been the textbook for this course. The next book, which is not that different, but is an important one, is really the same book for MetaTrader 5. I have both these books, and I've used both of them to find my way in. It's the same author, a guy called Andrew Young. He's really, really good at explaining things. And again, if you can't wait for the Toolkit for Traders course on MQL5 programming, then pick up this book and you can get yourself going. With all the knowledge you've got from the MQL4 programming language series here, you'll find this book very, very easy. There are some changes, there are some differences in MQL5, which this book really helps to explain why they're different. There are some, MQL5 is a bit more advanced than, or MetaTrader 5 is more advanced than MetaTrader 4, allows for much more capability in terms of how it takes trades, hedging and netting. So there's some key differences there in how you buy, and this book shows you how to do both. Also, like I say, it goes through all those basics, gives you the free source code, gives you all the basics, libraries, custom indicators that weren't covered in this course. So if you cannot wait, you want to get into MetaTrader 5 because that's what you use, pick up this book. Link will be in the description below. And it will, this is how you can really get going with MQL5 if that's what you're interested in. Now that you're able to code your own EAs, you might be thinking, well, thanks, I can code an EA, but where do I start? What should I trade? What strategy should I go with? There's this book called Entry and Exit Confessions of a Champion Trader. 52 ways a professional speculator gets in and out of stocks, futures, and forex markets. It's by a guy called Kevin Davey, who I highly recommend. He has his own YouTube channel, which I will post a link to in the description below. He is an avid builder of systematic trading portfolios. Highly recommend stuff by him. This book is particularly cheap. If you do buy it, you'll see why. There's not a lot of text in there. It's a very short book, but it does give you 52 entry and exit methods. So, if you're thinking, what shall I do next? One really good way to approach this and to get better at coding, pick up this book. It won't cost you very much. And every week, there's 52, so one per week. Code one of these entry methods into your strategy. If you do that for a full year, you'll be one of the best coders out there because you'll have practiced it so many times and you've found lots of really good tricks to get your coding really, really good. You'll also have a whole heap of trading strategies. Now, not all of them will work. A lot of them won't work, especially as some of them have been designed for stocks and futures and you'll probably be trading forex. That's fine. The thing about coding and testing is sometimes it's good just to know what doesn't work. That saves you money. If you can figure out what doesn't work and don't put your money into the market on a strategy that doesn't work, that's money saved, and money saved is money earned as far as I'm concerned. So, I highly recommend this book. I highly recommend you pick it up and you code the entries and exits that are in here. He does also give code examples. They are in a different language, in a language called Easy Language, which is a bit simplistic. So you will have to do some figuring out of how to get that into MQL4, but you have all the building blocks that I've shown you in this course. So I've no doubt you'll be able to do that. And the exit and entry methods in here, they do work. I mean, he does show in the book equity curves, so you can see that some of them do work. This is a good book, but you have to put in the work yourself to get strategies in MetaTrader to make them work. So if you want to go somewhere next, want to get over a writer's block and build a portfolio, which I highly recommend, go with this book. It won't cost you very much. The next book in the series is by the same author again. It's by Kevin J. Davey. And this is a bigger book, a more expensive book, but this is Building Winning Algorithmic Trading Systems. A trader's journey from data mining to Monte Carlo simulation to live trading. Now, this is the book if you want to know, well, I can code a strategy, but how? But that's just one aspect of building a system. You've got to think about generating ideas, which the last book will cover. Then you've got to figure out, well, which of those ideas work and deserve further development, because your time is limited. You can't spend lots and lots of time doing lots of unproductive things. This book will help you funnel down your ideas to strategies that work and robust strategies. Now, if you follow this, two things will happen. One, you will have a heap ton of strategies that don't work, but you will know they don't work, and then you'll be left with very few really, really good strategies, but you'll have the confidence because you've tested them properly to actually trade them live, and there'll be robust strategies. So it is well worth the effort. This is the method that I follow when I build strategies, because I want confidence that when I'm putting money into the market, it's going to be worthwhile. So it's really, really good. It goes over data mining for ideas. It goes over walk forward optimizing for your strategies, Monte Carlo simulation to shuffle around the equity curve to see what kinds of drawdowns you could get, and then goes into live trading. So highly recommend this book. Again, links in the description below. On to the next one. This book is by a different author called Robert Carver. It's called Leverage Trading now. This book is a bit of an all-rounder. It's designed for people like you and me who are trading. Most of us are trading leveraged foreign exchange. This is a book from somebody who's a real professional, working in the industry for a long time. So he's not messing around, but he has put the time to give us a book. Again, it's not a cheap book, but it does give you a really, really good approach. In fact, when I read this book, it taught me things that I'd not seen anybody else on YouTube or anyone else talk about anywhere else. And that is one of the things that nobody talks about is trading costs. And if you're trading with expert advisors and algorithms, trading costs are hugely important and you have to consider them. And you'll see a lot of trading channels will not even talk about the cost of trading because they don't want to, because it makes a lot of systems not work. So if you read this book, you'll feel two things. At first, you'll probably feel a bit despondent. You'll think, well, what can I do? But at the end, it gives you some simple, profitable systems to implement straight away. Now, I tell you, the systems are extremely, extremely simple. And they're not going to make you rich overnight, but they will make you rich slowly. They're those kind of strategies where they will make consistent profits over a long period of time, but they're not going to send you from $100 to $1 million. So, if you're serious about being a professional and sustained trader, this is the book I would go for. This is not a make a million in a day book. This is a proper how to really do this. So really, really recommend this book, and it is written in an accessible way. The next book I have is by the same author. It's called Systematic Trading. Now, this is like the advanced version of leverage trading. It covers a lot of the stuff in the last one about how to trade, but it's much more technical in terms of giving you the formulas and the background of why you should trade in a certain way. It's a much more difficult one to read and to implement, this book. So you have to be quite technically minded if you're going to go for this one. But again, it improves on the systems from the last book. So it takes some of the systems in the last book and makes them better. And the content is, if this is the kind of thing you're into, if you really want to be sort of like if you want to be a quant trader, professional quant trader, that's what you're aiming for. These are the kind of books you need to read and understand. But this isn't everybody's cup of tea. I just want to make that clear before anybody spends any money on these things. This is a difficult to read book because of the technical content. That being said, if you're that kind of person and you want to get into it properly, this is a real serious book. And again, it goes through trading all different kinds of products, how you should do it, how you should allocate in your portfolio, and again, how you should manage trading costs, which is really, really important for algorithmic trading systems. The next book is a bit of a left field one. It's called The Black Book of Financial Hacking by JCL, or Johann Christian Lotter. He's a German, I think originally worked for a company that used to design computer games, and they've turned one of their systems into a backtesting system, a system called Zorro, which I use extensively. So it's not really about MetaTrader, but if you're willing to learn another trading language that shows you how to trade all kinds of instruments outside of MetaTrader, this is really, really good. It teaches you about trading in Light C, which is a language that's, not too dissimilar. It is understandable if you've been on this course, but it allows you to use a system called Zorro, which makes backtesting, which has much better backtesting capabilities than MetaTrader. So you can test all kinds of things, including Forex, but also options and stocks, in a really quick and fast way to get through your system. So if you combine this with, say, what you're doing with Kevin Davies' books, then all of a sudden you're really getting through a lot of data and a lot of systems really, really quickly. You can then go and implement them in MetaTrader 4, or you can use this with MetaTrader 4. But the Black Book of Financial Hacking, the other thing about this is it's really easy to read. It's written as a story, which makes it nice and easy to follow. But it also goes through, it's got tons of strategies in there. There's quite a few strategies in there which work and are very profitable. And it talks about things in a really, this book's not hiding things from you about what the markets are like. It's going to tell you straight about how to make money of the inefficiencies in the market. It's not telling you what you want to hear. It's not telling you this system's going to make you rich or whatever. It's telling you that the realities of the market. The only downside of this book is it's quite short and it is very expensive for how long it is. I'll be totally honest with you. But I read some things, a blog. He has a blog called, I think, The Financial Hacker, which again I recommend to you. And I've been reading his blog for so long, and I just thought, you know what? He deserves the money. He deserves the money for all the stuff that he's put out there. So I just bought the book anyway, and I was actually really pleased with the book. Definitely value for money, but it is on the expensive side. So that is really, if you really want to get into sort of the hacking of the financial market, how you actually extract money from the inefficiencies in the market and build really good strategies. This is a really, really good book for you to pick up. The next book is a bit of a different one. It's not really about trading, but it's about motivation. Sometimes when you're coding, you can get to a brick wall and you're thinking, I think I'll just give up because you've coded 10 strategies and none of them have really worked in any back test. Well, Rich Dad Poor Dad is the book for you. It tells you about how to keep motivated and pursuing your goals. It's the mindset you've got to get into to push yourself through the hard things, because making money is not easy. You're not going to do it without some effort, without some determination, and this is a good book to keep you going and get your mindset in the right place to push through that. If you're at the start of your journey now, you're going to need a lot of that. And the other one is similar to the last one. It's called The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. Again, it gets you in that millionaire state of mind. This is a really easy to read book. Similar to the last one, it's really story based. MJ DeMarco is a very wealthy man, and he's made money by pursuing the fast lane, by doing things that most people don't do. If you want to be a millionaire, you can't do it on the slow lane with a day-to-day job. So how do you get yourself to think about wealth? So I don't know that it promises to crack the code to wealth and live rich for a lifetime. It doesn't give you any formula in there that you just follow to do it, but it's about your mindset. What are you thinking about as you do this, as you code? And have you got the right mindset? Have you got the right determination to push through when you're not feeling up to it? And the last one on the list is Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This is the closest you'll get from me about a psychology book, because we're expert advisor trading. Psychology is less of an issue for us, but I think it's important to understand in this book how your brain works when you're managing your trading system. Because trust me, when you're trading with an expert advisor and you're going through a drawdown, you're going through exactly the same things as somebody live trading, manually trading is going through. That doesn't change. You have to be able to trust your system, have confidence in you. And you've got to know whether you're using your system 1 primitive brain or your system 2 modern brain, because when we react to things in the heat of the moment, in anger or in panic or in fear, we're using our primitive side of the brain, our caveman brain, and we're making bad decisions and bad assumptions. You want to overcome your brain's weaknesses and use your sensible part. And this is, when people talk about having a trading plan, when people talk about trading in the zone, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about how do you overcome your brain's weaknesses to work from your modern human brain that is able to rationally assess the market and make good decisions. This is a really nice, easy to read book. This will impact you in more ways than just in your trading. I can't recommend this one enough. This is a highly influential book for me, and I really recommend this to anybody that wants to read it. So we've gone through the books and where to go next. So, really with the books, that's about 10 places where to go next. If you combine them together, you can be successful trading algorithmically. The learnings in those books, I'm not saying you need to do all of them or any of them, but that's where I would go next. That's where I went next, and that's what's made me successful. So I just want to give you some of those hints of the road. They're the kinds of books I wish somebody a few years ago had put in front of me to save me a lot of the aggro that I went through. That being said, I'm not going to leave you there. with just some books. I want to talk about the MQL4 Advanced Coding course, the 201 course, and what we're going to cover in there. So the Advanced Coding course is going to do, we're going to go on from the basics of MQL4. We're going to look at libraries, which we didn't cover, scripts, pattern recognition, candlestick patterns, multi-time frame analysis, custom indicators, and more things like that. So more in-depth or more advanced techniques for MQL4. I'm going to create a playlist for each lesson. I'm going to add that to the Advanced 201 playlist in the channel. Once I have 2 episodes for that, I will make the playlist and you can follow that playlist. And differently from this one, it's not going to be consistent sort of 2 weekly or weekly rollout. This is going to be as and when I either get the demand to make a certain video, or I feel like making a video. I just want to talk about a certain coding subject, or I've been doing something myself and I can just show you. So it's going to be weaved in. So it's important that you subscribe to the channel if you want to see those things. And as well, you know, if you really want me to do a certain thing, put something in the comment below, and let me know what you want. And if I see a lot of things coming up in common, I will try and make a video for that as soon as I can. And then I want to talk about some of the other content that's not coding related. You know, I started this channel. It's been amazing to see some of the following and what people have said positively about it. So I'm really excited to carry on this channel, but I want to expand it into other places. I want it really to take off. I don't just want this to be about coding MQL4. I want to help you to be a successful systematic trader. Or even a manual trader. I want to give you some of the tools and knowledge that help you be successful in the market, that have helped me, things that I've learned that have helped me be successful in the market. So here's some of the things we're going to go through. I want to teach you how to build and test a whole system. So not just how to code it, but how to build a whole system. So you've got an entry method, how you can add market regime filters, how you can optimize that but not too much, how you can diversify your expert advisor portfolio so you can have a smoother equity curve in theory. I want to show you how to set your expert advisor up on a VPS. I know when I did this for the first time, it was quite daunting. So I want to get you onto a VPS, because with an expert advisor, you need to be on a computer that's running all the time, connected to the internet. And one of the best ways to do that is using a VPS. I'm going to show you some of the brokers out there that I use. You know, I'm not going to show you brokers that I don't think are good. I'm going to show you brokers that I use and that I think have really good cost models, because as I said earlier, cost is really important. So you need to be really careful with your brokers that they're trustworthy and they're going to be good with your money, and 2, that they're not going to charge you a lot, because again, when you're working with expert advisors, there's certain kinds of brokers that you need. You can't just go with any old broker that other people are using, because you're maybe trading a lot compared to most manual traders. So you have to be really careful with costs. So I'm going to show you the brokers that I use for that reason. I'm going to show you how to factor in trade costs. As I said, with the leverage trading, the systematic trading, I'm going to show you some of the things that I've learned in that, how you can factor in trade costs and how important trade costs can be, the differences between a system that includes trade costs, a backtest that includes trade costs, and a backtest that doesn't. And then I'm going to, at some point, I'm going to show you what a realistic return is. Plus, I'm going to show you my results for the year. So we're early on in the year now. I'm going to give you an idea of some of my systems and what they've produced. And also, I'm going to bring forward the MQL5 Expert Advisor course, probably later down the year once I've had a break from doing this one. And then one thing I'm really excited about, and probably the thing you'll see most from me, is I've backtested systems and indicators robustly. Loads of time frames, loads of pairs, more than 5 years on each. I'm going to share with you those backtests. One thing I really want to help you do is show you what doesn't work, because that will save you a lot of time, but also show you some things that give you clues to what could work in your system. So I'm going to show you some serious backtests with equity curves, and not little backtests of 3 months of data that you see on some places. You know, this is proper. How would you do if you traded this thing for a long period of time, which you should be in this game for, right? Indicator research as well. I'm going to show you what indicators are best empirically. By that I mean they are tested as better, or you can see for yourself that they're better. This isn't about use the MACD with this because that's how other people use it. I'm going to show you what empirically works, and I'm going to give you those indicators, the best ones that I can find or I can create, so that you've got a copy of them to use in your trading systems. As I said before in the last slide, the order of the content will be down basically to either what I feel like doing and writing about, or what's demanded, what do people really want to know, because I really want this to be a community-led channel. So if you pop your comments down below what you'd like to see first, I will try and aggregate those comments and put the first videos first that I see, so hopefully you'll get more of what you want to see in the future. So here we are. We're at the end of the MQL4 programming course. This award is for you. You have made it through 12 quite long lessons. These have been long videos, and you've completed the Toolkit for Traders MQL4 Expert Advisor course. You should pat yourself on the back for that. If you've done your homework, especially, and created the EAs, you've got 3 EAs to take home, to use, to test out, to tweak. You can now take other expert advisors you find on the internet and tweak them yourselves, change the inputs. You can do so many things just from this basic course, and you've shown determination that you can be successful. So take this page as a certificate for you. Well done for making it to the end of the course. And as always, if you've got any questions for me, drop it in the comment section below. I'll answer as many as I can, but but you can answer each other's questions too. I know there's some experienced people in the community. Feel free to jump on and support each other. Join the conversation on the forum, the toolkitfortraders.com website. It's got a free members area. Everything that I do is free. So I'm not going to charge you for anything. You've done this course absolutely free. There's no push to get you to pay for a further course or anything like that. And anything I do in the future is going to be free as well. And if you like this video, as always, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel, and comment any questions, and I'll be sure to answer as many as I can. With all the books down below, I'll put the links down below that will take you to Amazon to get the books. That will help support the channel as well. It does cost me a little bit of money. I'm not really in this thing for the money though. But if you do want to support the channel, a simple thing you can do is just use the links below to get the books if you're interested in getting the books. Like I say, some of the books are quite expensive, so don't get the books if you're not interested in them. But that's one way you can support the channel as well. If you've got any questions on that or on anything else, of course, just let me know in the comments. And thank you for completing the course. Thank you for sticking with it. Well done. And hopefully see you in the future with more exciting content.